There's a secret unraveling in marinas across the coastlines, quiet, unspoken, and hidden beneath the surface, literally. Boats are vanishing. Not sold, not stolen, not hauled away, vanishing. One week, they're there, weathered and neglected, and the next, they're gone without a trace, no paperwork, no tow records, no angry owners demanding answers. Just empty slips and silence. It's a mystery that's not really a mystery to those in the know. The truth is darker and more desperate than most would ever imagine. Marinas are scuttling boats, intentionally sinking them, stripping them down, or dragging them offshore to be lost at sea. And they're doing it because the system meant to help them has completely collapsed. This isn't just a story about boats, it's about survival, secrecy, and the quiet collapse of an industry forced into the shadows. If you think you understand what happens to abandoned sailboats, think again. You're about to see a side of marina life you were never meant to know. Abandoned boats might look like forgotten dreams or ghost ships collecting bird droppings, but to a marina, each one is a financial disaster. The cost of a single abandoned sailboat can spiral far beyond what most people realize, and for smaller marinas, it can mean the difference between staying afloat and going under. Let's start with slip fees. A typical marina charges anywhere from $800 to $2,000 a month for a slip, depending on the size of the boat and the region. An abandoned boat sits there unpaid for months, sometimes years. That's tens of thousands of dollars in lost revenue per slip, revenue the marina was counting on to cover operating costs, pay staff, and maintain facilities. But the lost rent is just the beginning. Getting rid of that abandoned boat legally is a slow and expensive nightmare. Marinas have to jump through bureaucratic hoops, sending certified letters, waiting out notice periods, proving they made every effort to contact the owner. And that's assuming they even can find the owner. Often, they can't. Owners vanish. Phones are disconnected. Addresses go bad. All of that adds legal costs, lawyers, court filings, time spent chasing ghosts. By the time a marina is legally allowed to remove the boat, they're already in deep financially. But it doesn't stop there. Disposal is the final punch in the gut. These boats are often old, damaged, and worthless. Nobody wants them. They can't be sold, they can't be donated, they have to be disposed of, hauled out, dismantled, and dumped. And that costs money. Thousands, in fact. Haul-out fees, environmental handling of fuels and oils, transport, landfill fees. It's not unusual for disposal alone to cost $3,000 to $8,000 per boat. All told, a single abandoned sailboat can cost a marina anywhere from $30,000 to $60,000 when you add everything up: lost income, legal fees, and disposal. And most marinas don't just have one abandoned boat. Some have 10, some have 20. Do the math. We're talking hundreds of thousands of dollars in liabilities sitting quietly in the water, dragging down the business. This is why abandoned boats are such a big deal behind the scenes. It's not just about appearances or environmental risk, it's about survival. For marinas, these boats are ticking financial time bombs. The system in place to handle them legally is broken, slow, expensive, and full of red tape. And that broken system is driving some operators to take desperate and sometimes illegal actions just to stay in business. The next time you walk past a quiet, forgotten sailboat in a slip, remember, it's not just a boat. It might be a financial anchor pulling the whole marina down with it.
Perfect.
There's something deeply uncomfortable about watching a marina operator quietly scuttle a boat. Not because it's violent or dramatic, but because it feels like crossing a line, taking something that once held memories and dreams and sending it to the bottom without a trace. But when you dig deeper, the question becomes more complicated. Is it really wrong if it's the only option left? Legally, there's no debate. Sinking a boat without permits, dumping it offshore, or dismantling it without going through proper channels is illegal. It's destruction of property, potential environmental crime, and often fraud. If caught, the people doing it could face hefty fines or even jail time. But morally, that's where it gets messy. Most marina operators don't want to break the law. They're not looking to become criminals. They're just trying to stay in business. And when a boat is abandoned, deteriorating, and racking up thousands in lost slip fees, legal costs, and disposal expenses, the law stops feeling like a lifeline and starts feeling like a trap. They're faced with an impossible choice: follow the rules and risk bankruptcy, or bend them to survive. Is it unethical to choose survival? What makes it harder is the fact that nobody else is stepping up. The owner vanished. The state won't help. There's no fast legal pathway. So the marina takes matters into its own hands, not out of greed, but out of necessity. Is it still wrong when every other option has failed? Even the environmental angle, which seems black and white, is murky. Yes, scuttling a boat can be harmful, but so is letting it sit and rot until it sinks on its own, leaking oil and debris into the harbor. Some operators remove fluids and gear first, trying to minimize the damage. That doesn't make it legal. But does it make it more ethical? There's no easy answer. Illegal boat disposal is still illegal, but it's not always evil. Sometimes it's a last resort in a system that offers no good choices. And until that system changes, people will keep walking that ethical tightrope, one sunken hull at a time. Most people don't think of sailboats as something that ends up on the black market, but behind the scenes, there's a quiet, shadowy world forming around abandoned vessels, a kind of under-the-table economy that's growing as fast as the crisis itself. It starts when a marina gives up on the legal process. An abandoned boat has been sitting for months. The owner's vanished. Legal fees are piling up. The marina wants it gone, but instead of sinking it or going to court, they call someone. A contractor, a hauler, someone who doesn't ask questions. That's where the black market begins. These unlicensed operators show up at night or on slow days. They strip the boat for anything valuable: winches, electronics, rigging, hardware. These parts go straight to online marketplaces, backyards, or secondhand shops. No receipts, no titles, just quick cash for gear that still works. What's left, usually a gutted hull, is disposed of quietly. Maybe it's dumped offshore, maybe it's burned or buried, maybe it's chopped up in a field. There's no oversight, no records, no environmental controls. The boat just disappears from the books. Sometimes marinas pay these people in cash. Sometimes it's a handshake deal. Take it away, no questions asked. And in return, the marina frees up space without paying disposal fees or risking legal battles. This market runs on desperation, on the marina's need to survive, on the hauler's need for work, and on the boat owner's absence. It's fueled by a boat market that's collapsed at the bottom end, too many cheap, aging boats, not enough buyers, no real disposal plan. It's not organized crime, but it's a black market all the same. One built on quiet trades, vanished boats, and the silence of a system that no longer works. As long as abandoned boats keep piling up and the legal process stays broken, this underground economy will keep growing. It's fast, it's quiet, and for a lot of people, it's the only option left. Most people assume there's a system in place for everything, especially something as big as disposing of a boat. But when it comes to sailboats that have reached the end of their life, the truth is unsettling. there is no real system. Boat disposal is broken, and marinas are paying the price. Unlike cars or electronics, there's no national infrastructure for handling old boats, no standardized recycling programs, no buyback initiatives, no industry-funded disposal network. Once a sailboat becomes too old, too damaged, or too expensive to maintain, there's no clear off-ramp. It just sits, and when it sits, it becomes a problem, not just for the owner, who may walk away when they realize the cost of disposal is higher than the value of the boat, but for the marina left behind to deal with it. The legal process for removing an abandoned boat is painfully slow. Most states require extensive documentation, proof of ownership, certified letters to last known addresses, public notices, and long waiting periods before action can even begin. It can take months or even years before a marina is legally allowed to remove the boat. All the while, the vessel sits unpaid, decaying, and taking up valuable dock space. Even once removal is authorized, there's another problem. Nobody wants the boat. Older fiberglass boats have little resale value, donations are hard to pull off, and most disposal yards won't take them without a big fee. Proper disposal, haul out, stripping hazardous materials, cutting up the hull, transporting to landfill, can cost several $1,000s per boat. Multiply that by 10 or 20 boats, and a marina is staring down hundreds of thousands in costs. Most simply can't afford it. There's also no real deterrent for abandonment. Boat registration is cheap, and there's no required bond or end-of-life planning. Owners can vanish with little consequence, leaving the mess behind. The system isn't just broken, it barely exists. And in that vacuum, illegal disposal has become the default solution for some. Because when the rules are too slow, too costly, or completely missing, people start making up their own. Until we fix this, streamlined laws, funding for disposal, and shared responsibility across the industry, boats will keep piling up, marinas will keep breaking the rules to survive, and the problem will keep getting worse. So now you know. The quiet truth behind abandoned sailboats isn't just about old dreams rusting away at the dock, it's about broken systems, impossible choices, and a growing shadow economy that thrives where the law falls short. Marinas aren't just dealing with unpaid slips and sun-bleached hulls, they're fighting to survive in a world where the rules no longer work and the cost of doing things the right way could sink them. Some are choosing to disappear these boats, illegally, silently, desperately. And while that might sound shocking, it makes a strange kind of sense when you look at what they're up against. If you own a boat, or dream of owning one, let this be a wake-up call. There's more to this world than sunsets and sails. There's a reckoning waiting at the end of every boat's life, and right now, there's no clear path forward. The boat market, the legal process, the entire system, it needs to change. Because until it does, boats will keep vanishing, and marinas will keep doing what they have to do to survive. Thanks for sticking with me. I'll see you next time. And until then, keep your lines tight, your slip paid up, and your eyes open.